Welcome to Toronto Unwrapped, where we meet the boldest local business owners in Toronto of those brands that you see and love. Today we're meeting with Irene, powerhouse dental hygienist, entrepreneur, and founder of Two Flight. From superhero decals to a space that's more like a designer studio, this isn't your typical dental clinic. Let's get into it. So Irene, I wanted to ask you, I heard that this is $1 million place. It's basically a place for your dog to nap.
Yeah, it's the most expensive place for Dr. Lou to take his naps. You know, we thought we lost him once. We were looking around, we're like, where's Lou? And he was in my room, just sleeping in my operatory. Yeah, opening a practice is really expensive. I don't think people realize how much goes into having a state-of-the-art facility. Easy to buy things secondhand, but when you do a startup during COVID, and then you want all of the nicest equipment and high-tech stuff, it's pricey. You add the word dental to anything, and they jack up the price like 30%, I think.
Right. And how was that? Like, what made you make that leap to start your own business?
Yeah. I have a really unique business model. I'm not a dentist. I'm a hygienist. I'm a restorative hygienist now and a myofunctional therapist, which affords me the opportunity to do pretty much everything a dentist can do except physically drill into the tooth or give local anesthetic. And prior to opening the practice, I'd been a hygienist for 15 years and working in multiple specialties. I worked in a pedo practice, which is why we do a lot of kids stuff here. I worked in a perio practice, advanced gum disease and so forth. And then this bougie clinic in Yorkville. So I went to all of these different offices and I picked up on things that I really liked, but on the practice management side, they always lacked. Now, historically, dental people are not business people. You don't get an MBA in dental school, and you definitely don't in dental hygiene school. So I took all of the things that I loved about the employers that I worked for and the practices that I worked for, and I decided I wanted to do my own thing. Unfortunately, hygienists have a hard time being autonomous in the practice that they work in because they're not the ones signing the checks. So most hygienists complain about, not having the newest equipment or not having the best scalers or being able to implement systems that help us achieve better patient outcomes. That's the goal in the end, right? Healthy people. Because business and dentistry are now, one and one. Overhead is really high. So I thought, why don't I just open my own practice? And the beauty of what I get to do on social media and as a clinician is that I do get all of the newest equipment, but I'm also able to advocate for that on Instagram. So that lowers the cost for me. It's like a really great kind of business model in that sense. So I just wanted to do my own thing and not have to ask for permission anymore.
Yeah. How long did it take? Like, how long were you pondering, kind of
forever.
Thinking, because I'm sure there's lots of people, maybe listening to this podcast who have their own business ideas, who want to take that jump, maybe get out of the corporate world and do their own thing.
Yeah.
But they're kind of hesitating or scared or something's holding them back. Mm-hmm. How long were you kind of mulling it over before you made that leap?
7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 years. It was a 7-year idea. And then started creating my business plan in 2017. And then started construction in 2019 and then opened in 2020. The unfortunate part about being a hygienist and not a dentist is that when you're applying for a loan in a bank in order to get financing for something like this, they classify you still as a healthcare provider, but you're not the primary earner. So the dentist that works here is the person that makes the most amount of money, and you've met Dr. Michelle. So my business model is running an associate model right away, which means I'm losing 30 to 40% right away. So when their analysts take the numbers and are like, oh, the math's not mathing. Well, the math is never going to math on a model like this. So I had to put together a significant personal injection, like $300K of my own cash, right away. So that took some time. It took some planning. It took some sacrifices. And it was a 7-year dream that took 3 years of hardcore saving, 2 years of planning, and then construction.
Wow.
But, my mom's an entrepreneur. My dad's an entrepreneur. I grew up with that mentality. I was born and raised in a communist country. My parents were refugees. So that, old school mentality, work hard, save, the work ethic, I got that from my parents. And I don't think failure was never an option. It was just a matter of having really good systems in place in order to not have failure be looming over me.
And how rare is it for like a hygienist to? I had never run into that. And
It's rare. I mean, in the province of Ontario, I believe we've got about 14,000 dental hygienists, maybe 15,000. I have a license to practice independently, so that number changes a little bit. In the Greater Toronto area, maybe there's like less than 100 of us. It's becoming much more popular now that people like me are advocating for how to do it. And I consult on this too, so I'll have hygienists send me a DM and I'll connect them with my lawyer and connect them with my accountant and try and help them with their business plans. It's becoming much more popular as funds are becoming more available, but it's still, to operate like this, like a fully functioning dental practice, like front facing to the public without having dental hygiene on the windows, it's a little more rare.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you were opening up, you had your
Superwoman.
Superwoman decal. I was like, who is this woman? And it turns out you are a bit of a superwoman after doing a little bit of research. You skipped a few grades in school.
I did. Oh gosh, that was wild. They don't do that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
And so in terms of your superpowers, like what would you say your superpowers are?
I'm really quick on my feet. I think in any business you have to be adaptable and you have to be able to separate your emotional side, your feelings from the business. And I mean, we're a team of 11. You have 11 people that you have to look out for and you have to advocate for them, but you also have to instill good rules. So I'm pretty adaptable. If something happens, I've got a solution for it, or 5. I think I'm quite resilient. I mean, opening a practice during COVID was challenging, and it came with its own unique. We're celebrating 5 years this year. Did you know that?
No.
Like tomorrow is our 5-year anniversary.
Okay.
And I sat over the weekend and I just thought about like all the lessons that I've learned in 5 years. You know, we've had an employee pass away. We've had multiple employees that have gone on maternity leave, some who have moved to become hygienists. We've lost employees to going back to school. One of my first dentists ended up opening his own practice because apparently I made it look too easy after he told me I never want to open a practice. So in 5 years, you learn a lot of skills and you have to think about it from the perspective of other people. And I read a lot of books about business, and my most recent favorite series is the Go Giver series. I don't know if you've read them. No. Really tiny little reads. They kind of read like Tuesdays with Maury.
Oh, yeah.
Storytelling kind of vibe. The first book, it's red. It talks about these 5 principles and this guy who's called the connector and connects all of these people, has no skin in the game, but is just like really into thinking about others. And when you do that, you know, good things end up coming back to you, like this podcast, you know? So you just have to take a step back and let people be where they are, meet them where they are.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about client care. I know myself and a lot of people, they might kind of stick their head into the ground when it comes to medical issues, kind of not deal with them for a long time.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm a mouth breather. I have been since I forever.
Yeah.
And I know it's not great for my health. It's not great for my dental hygiene. Beyond that, I don't know much, and I haven't dealt with it ever. So I'm coming out and saying, what should I be doing about that?
Do you know why you're a mouth breather? Do you have a deviated septum?
I have a deviated septum. I had a surgery. It didn't go well. It didn't really resolve it.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of correlations between mouth breathing, sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea, snoring. Maybe you snore a little bit.
And not too much.
Okay, good. But it's all connected. I mean, if your brain isn't getting enough oxygen, and that's one of the things that happens when someone's a mouth breather. They're not getting enough oxygen, they're getting too much carbon dioxide, and that ratio isn't quite there. A lot of systems can suffer from it, sleeping being one of them. It's much more concerning when you see it in kids. Like, we're very active in seeing it in children. Children that are mouth breathers, that snore and that grind their teeth, end up being adults that have obstructive sleep apnea, and they're a higher risk factor for cardiovascular disease and diabetes. So as time continues, things start to deteriorate. Your nose is also, and your sinuses are meant to be filtration systems, right? The little hairs that are in there are not to be removed for aesthetic purposes significantly. They're meant to filter pieces, particles. They're meant to humidify your oxygenation. So it's important that people breathe through their nose. And unfortunately, even if you did fix your breathing issue or deviated septum, you still have to retrain your brain to now know that, well, I have a nose that's functional, which is why myofunctional therapy is really helpful. Kids that have tongue ties and so forth, they need to be doing certain exercises before they get their surgeries. And the same thing happens with those that get rhinoplasties and septum surgeries. Like, you need to be doing exercises to retrain your brain that my nose is working now.
So is that something I can do here?
Well, we don't do the surgical
But
intervention.
the therapy?
Yeah.
Okay. The retraining. I need lots of retraining. Can you tell that I've only started flossing a week before my appointment?
Yes. Yeah. You know what, flossing, and I'm saying this and I get a lot of hate for it, flossing is not scientifically researched to be as efficacious as using a water flosser.
Okay.
A little tabletop device that uses water and air is scientifically shown to reduce more plaque and reduce gingivitis than traditional string floss alone. So people come in, they're like, I don't floss. And I'm like, I don't either. And they look at me like, what do you mean you don't floss? I'm like, I use a different tool that's actually better. It's a little more expensive and it requires a little bit more management on the patient side, but it's actually more efficient.
Okay, this is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I might have to ask you more about that after.
Yeah. I think it's in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh. It looks like this. And it has a little tip on it. And you put water inside. And then when you turn it on, you hit the gauge. So you start slow and you work your way up. And then when you turn it on, it just like shoots out air and water. And you stick it like right in between your teeth.
That's great because I have a wire at the bottom.
And it goes, yeah.
Okay.
This is what you need.
And what?
Link in my bio. Life happens. We've seen a lot of people not come back to the dentist after COVID. They went before and then whatever happened during, and now we're seeing the effects of it 4 to 5 years later. A good clinician isn't going to shade you or make you feel like you're any less of a person for not going in. You meet people where they are and you take them where you are, and you slow down. You slow your appointment down, you slow your communication down, you slow your energy down in order to make someone feel comfortable. And you have to realize that there's other stuff going on. Which is why, it bothers me when I see on social media, like, people making statements about, like, oh, my patient said this and my patient said that. And like, we're all human. How I may have not have gone for a physical for a few years. I should probably be seeing my massage therapist more often. Life happens. And a good clinician is going to recognize that, see that, and then tailor the appointment to meet your needs. You'd be surprised how many times we see a new patient and we actually don't do anything. We just sit and we talk. We go over their x-rays with them and then, come back another day for more work. It isn't cookie cutter.
Yeah. Every client's different.
Everyone's
very much like in our industry.
Yeah, in your industry too.
You gotta
Some
meet
people are ready and they'll see one house or one property and they'll make the decision, and others, they need you to hold their hand when you see 30 of them. Yeah. But it's an emotional time and emotional decisions and big decisions.
And when people are in the seat, does it sometimes turn into like a little therapy session? Do people open up with you?
Always. Yeah, there's lots of different things happen in people's lives, and it manifests in different ways. Bad habits being one of them. So you'll start to notice someone's oral health might change because they've gone through something and they're drinking more, or they're eating more carbs, or they've gained more weight, which is affecting their oral health. And we know more about patients than some of their physicians do, hygienists specifically, because we spend more time. I mean, I see most of my patients every 3 months for a cleaning. The dentists see them maybe twice a year, every 6 or 9 months. So we know about family vacations and who's going to camp, and someone broke their leg, someone lost their mom, they lost their dog. And then when people cancel their appointments for reasons, you learn about those reasons during the cancellations, and all of that stuff gets stored in the patient file. So we learn a lot about people in short periods of time. And we learn how to manage those behaviors and those conversations in school and in continuing education. Like, our entire team goes to 2 CE events as a team. We shut the office down and we learn from other clinicians on how to handle stuff like that.
Yeah, speaking of education, I know you're highly involved. You travel all around
the world.
How far afield have you flown?
Singapore, Asia, yeah, all over.
Tell me about, what drives you to do that?
This conversations like this, elevated patient care is my goal, and everyone considers the things that we do here to be so adjunctive and like so neat that you add all of these things, but I believe that those should be the standard of care. Insurances and policies were designed with clinicians, like the new CDCP plan, Canadian Dental Plan,
Yes.
that's being rolled out. There wasn't a dental person on that committee, not from the Ontario Dental Hygienist Association, not from the Canadian Dental Hygienist Association. So they are saying that each human in this country only deserves one cleaning per year. And like you said, there's people that haven't had their teeth cleaned in decades because they didn't have insurance, and now they do. And
That's not going to cut
it's not going to cut it. It's 1 hour. It's one appointment. It's 1 hour, which a healthy person usually does.
That's why we call you the Superwoman.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for talking with us and letting us know about Tooth Life, Toronto Unwrapped. And
Thank you.
we're happy to share all this with our peeps.
Cool.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thanks.
Peace out, Pete.